and welcome back to Baby Lady in Canterbury. We are thrilled today to be talking to you about the brand new latest addition to the BeSafe car seat range, and it's called the Stretch. BeSafe seats have always done fantastically well in terms of crash testing, and Swedish seats are really good quality and very safe. We are big fans of them here, but this one is really clever, and it has some very unique points. So we're going to talk to you about it in detail in the store today, and when the rain dries up we will go out and actually show you how to fit it in the car, but in the meantime we didn't want to waste a minute to tell you about this fantastic new seat. So it's won a safest in category award. So what that means is that when they've tested the extended rear facing seats, this has the safest score currently recorded for an extended rear facing seat, because they generally only test them within each category. So it means it's very safe, but it's also very easy to install and very easy to use. Unfortunately, I only have a black one, which doesn't show up terribly well in the video, but we'll do our best to show you. So it's a very clever seat. The seat itself weighs 11.5 kilos, which is lighter than a lot of the competitor products. And part of the reason for that is the design and how it's been made, but also because it is a belted seat, not an isofix seat. Now, all of the extended rear facing tends to be belted. There is one exception, but they do tend to be belted. But this is very easy to install, and I'll talk to you about that a little bit later. And we'll also do obviously the demo in the car. But let's talk about the seat itself. So the seat itself comes in two models. This is the Stretch, and there is also a Stretch B. Now the Stretch B has an additional newborn insert, so you could, if you wanted to, use that from birth. Here at Baby Lady we do feel, and all the research supports the fact that your child is better in an infant seat from birth, in terms of crash testing and safety, because it does cocoon the baby really safely. So we have the Stretch normal model. Obviously you can order the Stretch B. The seat itself is very clever for lots of different ways. As I said, it has an extendable leg rest, and this has one of the longest extendable leg rests I've ever seen. So there's a button on the front here, hopefully you can see when I squeeze this, and it will allow you to extend your leg rest. If I put this on our demo seat, if you have enough room in the car, and obviously this will depend on how much space you've got in your car. In smaller cars you may not be able to do this. Extend your leg rest and look how big that will come. So that's got 26 centimeters of leg room. So if you have a very long legged child, that would be amazing. But don't forget, one of the questions we're often asked when people come to store is about leg room. When you sit in the car, you don't sit with your legs bang straight out inside of you. So it is completely normal for your child to have slightly bent legs. They won't be worried about that at all. So the other clever things about this seat, many things about this seat. So the seat itself has been manufactured using recyclable materials, they've removed the polystyrene because they know that polystyrene has a tendency to crack and break, and also it isn't it doesn't have as long a use. This seat is designed to be used up to 15 years, so you could use it for several children, whereas your standard seats, the plastics and things tend to degrade after about 5 years. It also has a really clever shell here. This metal bar here is an impact shell. Now, if you think of bars that run down the side of cars, steel bars, protection bars, this is like a bar for your car seat. And the idea of this is, if God forbid you're involved in an impact, this bar will protect the shell of the seat and reduce the impact that will come to your child. So your child will get off significantly reduce injury. And we know from our own personal experience here that these seats do perform fantastically well in accident situations. So the seat also reclines in its own axis. So there's a handle underneath the seat. I'm not sure how easily you can see this, but you squeeze this handle and it will allow you to adjust the seat in its own axis. This is another thing that we really like about this seat. Some of the other products that are extended rear facing that are fantastic, if you want to recline them, you do have to unbelt the seat, refit the seat, and that's not always what you want. So that also may be a really good option, particularly if you were using this seat from 6 months, which it is suitable for your smaller child. Obviously you are going to want that extra recline on your longer journeys so they can have a little bit of a nap. If we turn the seat round, you'll see all the padding inside. It's a bit difficult on my demo seat to show you all of this, but one of the other things I really like about this seat is how much padding it has. So very often seats can be very, very safe, but sometimes they don't have a huge amount of padding. BeSafe have created a massive amount of padding in this seat, really, really comfortable while still achieving these phenomenal test scores. So how this seat works, as your child grows, you will extend the backrest, and as you extend your backrest, your harnesses will come up to be in the correct automatic position as your child grows. And as your child grows, you will remove this bottom piece here, because that will give you more bottom room and more space as your child gets that little bit older. So if I turn this back round, hopefully you'll see how big a seat that is. Really, really roomy with all this amazing head support. So it really should take your child up to the age of 7. BeSafe say that this will take a child up to 36 kilograms. Now, your child at 7 is never going to be 36 kilos, so they're never going to get too heavy for it. So this might be a particularly good option if your child is on the higher percentiles, maybe 75, 90, 95th percent. So we've actually fitted our car seat onto our demo rig, but we will do a full demonstration video in the car. It's a lot easier to show you in the car. And obviously there's a QR code on the side of it, but once it's in place, it is absolutely rock solid. I mean, there's no movement whatsoever. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is the zip that goes onto the side. So this also gives you additional protection. You always attach this, it actually slides on now, so it's much easier to fit than the original ones, on the side that's facing the door. And this is because, God forbid you're involved in a side impact, this also absorbs energy and reduces that energy coming to the seat, and obviously protects your child and keeps them even safer. If you are using this in the middle of the car, you don't use the sit because it's in the middle of the car. And the last thing I wanted to talk to you about, the clever size of this seat. So we've been asked quite a lot recently by customers who need to get 3 car seats along the back of a car. And this might be a really, really good option for that, because you can fit it in the middle. Obviously you do have to have your tethers. These are currently tethered onto here, but you would need to tether them onto your seats. Do check out the demo in the car for this. But the seat itself, the actual base of the seat, only measures at its widest point, let's have a look at this, about 36 centimetres. Obviously it's a little bit bigger higher up, but if you're trying to get 3 seats across the back, this might be a very, very good option for you, because having that smaller base at the bottom means you've got more room either side to put other children in. And also, because you don't have to seatbelt this in, it will stay in place. You're not going to have that issue with having to unbuckle and buckle every time you fit it. All you do is do up your children's buckle. So this is the fantastic stretch from our lovely friends at BeSafe. If you are watching on our YouTube channel, do subscribe to our page and you'll be able to see the fitting video. If you do want any more information about this or any of the BeSafe ranges, do get in touch via any of the normal channels. Thanks for joining us here at Baby Lady again today.